on the cusp of commercialization, getting generators out there into customers' hands. So our first deliveries are actually going to take place before end of year here, so in the next few weeks. And then as we go into 2025, we're looking to scale into low double-digit millions of revenue.
All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. And joining me now is Thomas Healy. He is the CEO of Hyliion Holdings. And Thomas, it's good to see you. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on. And today I'm sitting in our Cincinnati office. You can see some of the action happening behind me here.
Yeah, it's been very busy with the company. Lots of stuff going on. Let's start there. Tell everyone who's not familiar a bit about the company.
Yeah. So we're a company focused on making distributed power generators. So think about kind of having a personalized power plant for a commercial building, a data center, a EV charging site, where you can now just make power on site. So you kind of remove your dependency from the grid, and we can give you affordable, very clean, localized power generation.
Now, is this for generation to use all the time or in an emergencies, or how does it work?
Yeah, so most people, when you hear the word generator, you think of the Generac sitting outside your house. You got a storm, generator kicks on. This is not that type of focus. Ours is more, this is like your own power plant where it's 24/7 operation. It's constantly running. Because what we found is we can make electricity just as, if not more efficiently than the grid. And then that means to the end customer, it's cheaper in almost all instances than the grid. And so now you might as well just make your own power on site.
Yeah, Thomas, I was reading a bit about the work that you're doing and the fact that this generator is very flexible. It can work with a number of different fuels. It can do a lot of different things. Tell me a little bit about the uniqueness of it.
So you mentioned a couple. So it's fuel agnostic. So it can run on over 20 different fuels. So think of like hydrogen, natural gas, diesel, ammonia, propane, the list goes on. So it's like truly flexible. Like you can be running propane 1 minute, switch over to natural gas the next, and switch over to hydrogen the next, and not even having to turn the generator off. And then efficiency is one of the biggest things. And this is what really drives the economics, right? If we can convert that fuel into electricity more efficiently, that means you're going to have inexpensive power. So we're at a point of about 50% fuel to electric efficiency, and that basically rivals the best power plants out there. We're in the same ballpark. So and then another big one is just low emissions. So we're looking at like 98% lower NOx and CO emissions and pollution. And so obviously, as we think about, moving towards a cleaner future, environmental change, this generator is able to achieve that while also giving you the ability to be future-proof, right? I mean, a lot of people talk about hydrogen or ammonia being the fuel of the future. Well, you could adopt a generator today, run it on natural gas, and then eventually switch over to some of those cleaner fuels.
Okay. I was researching the company, saw that you had some pretty big news out of securing a $17.2 million contract at the Office of Naval Research. So just the way you're describing it, the uses of this military-wise or within government seems to be a natural fit, and obviously it has.
It does. I mean, your mind kind of probably first goes to think about like a forward operating base where you don't know what fuel you're going to be finding there. Fuel's at a premium, so if you can use it more efficiently, that's a big win. The other thing that the military, specifically the Navy, has seen is this could be a great power plant or power generation solution for vessels, right? So think about the Navy is starting to shift to more autonomous vessels where they don't even have anyone on board. And so then there's no one there to maintain the generator. So one of the other big benefits with the Karno is that it's got a very low maintenance profile compared to other generators. So this gives the military the ability where you could deploy this for a long period of time, not have anyone there continuously servicing it, and the thing is just going to continue to work. So that coupled with also the other one I didn't mention, it also is very low noise, low vibration. That's obviously pretty important for the military as well.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about the water as well and marine life and things like that, obviously really important. Tell me a little bit about the rest of this year and more importantly into 2025. What are some of the things that people should know about the company and what you're looking forward to?
Yeah, so it's extremely exciting time for us. We're on the cusp of commercialization, getting generators out there into customers' hands. So our first deliveries are actually going to take place before end of year here, so in the next few weeks. And then as we go into 2025, we're looking to scale into low double digit millions of revenue. So starting to get more and more units out there. And we see this as a pretty diverse solution. So we're going to be deploying into EV charging sites. We're looking at data center opportunities, looking at being able to like take waste gas from oil and gas or landfills and be able to power it. So you'll see over the next year, I mean, our approach is kind of get units out into multiple different industries, really prove out the use case of it. And in parallel, we'll be working on continuing to scale manufacturing. One of the things we haven't talked about yet is one of the unique things with the Karno is a lot of the parts are made through 3D printing or metal additive manufacturing. That's the machines you see behind me are actually running right now making parts, right? You see, it's pretty neat. You see, there's no one there actually working on it, right? But the machine is printing these parts, making them as we speak. And so we'll be also scaling up the manufacturing capabilities, adding more 3D printers as well.
Wow, really is a fascinating company, Thomas. Thanks so much. Great to catch up with you and see what you're about. And we look forward to following the story. It sounds like it's going to be an interesting 2025.
Thanks for having us on.
All right, there's Thomas Healy. He's the CEO of Hyliion Holdings.